Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Keep Six Empowerment to Unlock the Justice System. I am Crystal Burt, a member of Keep Six. I'm here joined by Helen and Mr. Dwayne Mullings. Thank you so much for joining us today.
How are you?
I'm
How's
good.
everybody today?
We're good.
You
We're
know,
good. Okay.
good opportunity here to
Yes.
speak to you guys and let you know really what's going on, you
Yes.
know? So, how's everything today? What would you guys need from me? I'm all ears.
We will start back to the beginning for you. Um, we of course know what your charge is. It was first degree or was it second
It was
degree?
first degree.
First
Mine was
degree.
first degree.
Okay.
Yes.
First degree. And do you want to tell us a little bit about how you ended up there in that
Yes.
situation?
Yeah. Basically, I was 19, about 18 at the time. I was basically a young offender, just past young youth offender, and I got into a situation where a vehicle was taken, and we end up engaging in a struggle, and shots were fired, and a man fell deceased at the time. It was like about 2004
Okay.
January,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
So I've been in ever since. I went through 2 trials and, started doing my time in the J Unit Millhaven facility and cascaded to a lower Joyceville. Now I'm here in Workworth. But it took time throughout the system,
Of course.
as a youth, as a young offender coming up to adult to be incarcerated for first degree murder. So, it's not an easy road, but yeah,
How did your
it's a
mindset
difficult.
change as you developed from, okay, 2004, this is the incident I was in, to today? What, struggles did you face, mental health challenges, just personal self-growth challenges did you face to get to where you are today?
Basically, because at the starting, it's all about fitting in, all about adjusting. You have to go in analyzing where you are, different type of dynamics which you're faced. So that's about fitting in when you first arrive and you come into prison. You still have that edge. You still have the statutory attached to you from the outside. So you still have that thought process of growing. You're still attached to everything you just left. It's not like you're gradually seeing the difference and the change and the elevation throughout your time. So the beginning was more like fitting in and still having that name attached to you
How did that work
until
out for you
you
though?
start.
How did that work out for you though, trying to
It,
fit in?
that way made me realize when I tried that way, it made me understand that it only dug me in a deeper state of mind where I cared less. And the key factor for me was starting to care. You have to care about things. That's the only way you're going to change and see things in a different perspective, when you start caring. And caring is the key that you have to show people, and the environment we live in and the community support. The caring is what makes you realize and change your perspective and start altering your decision making. And that's where you were still not caring when you first come in, and it showed me that was the wrong way of thinking and the wrong perspective to keep growing in that same mind frame, not caring, you know.
You see that
So
with a lot of the guys that come in now that are like about my age, like early 20s, they just have that mentality of just, I don't care.
that's more of their philosophy. That's the more of the theme that they came up in. They surrounded themselves with, not to care really much about women, about anything that you're really supposed to value and that really means things. We have lack of care from true society influence, societal influence. That's what governs the children's mind and their thinking, how we grow up in our society and how we treat you guys and treat society as well.
Right. So when they come in, do you feel like a lot of the younger guys, they see it more as like a cool thing to, be engaging gun violence and gang activity and stuff like that, to the point where they get that I don't care mindset, because a lot of these youth are
Yeah,
doing a lot of things and it just seems like whatever. Every day you
glorifying it.
see gun
Is
violence, gang
glorified
situations,
more.
human
It's
trafficking.
more glorified. Yeah, in the music, it's more glorified in
Music,
the
yeah.
community, in the music, so those things is what they feel is going to get people to notice them or
Respect that maybe.
respect them, because to notice me is more like people respecting you. You notice who I am, the notability of that individual, and that's what becomes reputation. It becomes, you understand? So that's where they want to be known. So what is it that needs you to be known? It's the wrong things that are glorified in the street. You understand? So we have to change their mind and their perspective to look more family, to look more entrepreneur minded, where police doesn't always have to be involved in your lives, even though it's evident because of your community structure and where you're at. But that's the things we need to more show them, or make them see more often instead of the other reverse.
Like attention seeking, right?
Yes, it's more clear in our community and what we like to see from each other, and it's probably the wrong things we glorify, or the wrong things are more materialistic. They're more like, it always turns to more of a self. That's where I'll tell it's self, me, getting where I need to be and forgetting about the rest. And we have to remember that once we see us elevate, we would want it for the other people who we came up with or we want to see. And we forget that sometimes when we get to where we are.
Agreed.
That's really what's hurtful in our community and leads us to getting our own and being selfish and being not really letting people in to elevate as well as you, because we look at each other as example. Yeah, it's a competition, but it should be examples. Right. We look at each other as competition, but it should be examples where we show. That's what I want to do. I want to show them leading by examples, not because of the statutory or where you came from. There's always different ways to think, different ways to react.
So do you think, just jumping in, do you think that changing the bail reform and making harsher sentencing is really going to do much to deter young people? Because that's what a lot of politicians are saying now, that we need to build more prisons,
Helen,
back to young people, like punishing instead of really
Helen,
supporting.
No, Helen, and to me, I'm not there yet. But the knowledge I've gained throughout the time and being incarcerated and being on the ground, the surface, so I know exactly what's being said. Mm-hmm. And I know punishment does not change the dynamics and mindset of these young minds. Even if you lock them away, that doesn't change their mind because of the environment, how they're treated or they're growing up. But we who know better made it through certain avenues of the system which has been created, and we elevated through the system and became somewhere. We have to make ways and show things where, even if it's us on our own, people don't like to always engage or help, but we have to do something, put our best foot forward for them to see another way, because there's not many.
There's no
few and difficult is the way that leads to life, and many and few find that way. But broad and wide is the way that leads to destruction, and there are many who find that way. You understand? That way is more what we see, even though it has a lot of things for momentarily reasons, only momentarily. It's not for what we know means things is passing on, longevity, extension of things that help you be like stability, where you know, you don't have to crave for those other, even though it befalls everyone, but it's more dominant in our community, our culture. You know, we have to seek to do things that we shouldn't have to, but it's because of generational things, you know, but we have to still change our mind.
What can we do to truly change our minds? So like I said, like Helen said, they want to do they want to change bail, they want to do all these things, but what can we do before they even get to that step for the young people, for the young men, the young women that are in their late teens, early 20s that are involved in this crime? What does our community of Toronto need, in your opinion?
You need more of the people them who've been in, who understand like what it really is, because they have this facade or this illusion about incarceration, even though they hear about it and people talk and gossip. They don't understand the reality of it and how it's to live inside these places. And for them to see that that's not the way for us to go. We need the community. We need people like us to come in the community and speak and more like show them, lead by example, like let them see that it doesn't always mean because you're from this area and your statutory means this, that you have to follow the way that society thinks is meant. Yeah, that society can't dictate what's meant for us, though we went through trials and tribulations and things of our nature in our community. It doesn't mean we're going to be this, we're going to be that, what society said. We could be other things to you guys. It's just they have to protect us as well, as in loving us. When we're doing something good, love us. Don't continue with that hate, continue with that things that they poison our minds with. Once you see us doing good, trying to do good, embrace that.
Yes.
Don't say it means nothing and you still want to pursue that mindset against these individuals who maybe in the past had a way of thinking like you do.
Yes.
You have this mind, but they're showing you a different way. Sometimes people refute that, reject it because of they're stuck in that same mindset, you know? So my thing is don't project that energy when you see people doing that. Give them that benefit to change your kids, change your uncles, your moms, your grandmother, family. Because when they see us, that's what's going to give them hope to do other things instead of following everything what is we're used to doing.
Exactly.
You know,
our rise of violence right now in the city has every week or every weekend. It seems like there's something. Caribbean weekend is coming up as well. There's going to be a lot of different things going on. It just feels like the young people are getting so much easily access to guns and violence, and it's becoming a big problem.
They don't own it. They don't own none of these things. They have access to these things. These people invite these things. That's why you see it in different countries, mass murders and these things. These were invented for these things. And when you start gaining knowledge and understanding about the world and how it functions and how people think, then you start understanding the human race and the people, what they're missing, what you're really looking for, that's how you really find truth. When you look around and you identify everything, you know what's evil, you know what's not evil, you know what's good, you know what's selfish, you know what's slander. You start understanding, then you embrace the good characteristics of things. That's what becomes your natural human life, to be good, to be natural, to be kind. Everything else we were taught that learned behavior. You know, I see it with children all the time. That's why children's the key to understanding the dynamics of truth and innocence and love, you know? Yeah, so we got to do it for them. If it's anybody, we got to do it for them who's coming up. It doesn't matter what race, no matter who they are, we got to do it for them because Canada is diversity,
very diverse.
Every ethnicity. So we got to show that to our children, show that to our society, or it's just in vain. They're just speaking in vain. They're coming up with slogans in vain. The land of this, you understand? You got to really dictate and show us that this is what we stand for. This is what we are.
Exactly.
You know?
What kind of
Yeah.
skills do you think that these youth should develop? Like, what skills or values or lessons did you learn, I guess, going through the system that you feel like these youth should adapt to succeed in life and stray away from violence, stray away from gang activity?
Um, well, what they should really learn, I feel, is anything that's contrary to doing wicked. Like if it's meditation, if it's books, because you can't understand everybody's walks of life because we all come from different walks of life, but we got to find that anything that's contrary to the wicked ways or the ways of people who are unjust, because everything, like we said, there's a balance, equal thing we have to seek for everybody to be fair. That's why there was words that were given to us for us to follow and say. So we got to figure out what's contrary to things that will be better for us, and wicked and being deceitful and being, those things are contrary to what our society needs to see to build up, to actually grow together. Because the society could still grow, but it's not going to be together.
Right.
It's going to be this people, that people, those people.
Yep.
And that's what we don't want if we're speaking like that. So that's what I believe. We have to find some form of books, meditation, or like people who speak about these things and gravitate to it, and try your best to just wake up with it at your forefront, because we all fall short. We all make mistakes. We all get tired of certain things because we're humans, but try to keep it at your forefront as best as you can. Go back to it. That's why it's called remind yourself about the things that we're really destined to do as human beings, caring for everyone equally, one race. I told you guys prior to that, that's going to be the big thing that we're going to stand. You're going to see it. But the acronym, which it stands, our natural existence revolves around caring equally. That means one race. That means everybody, all inclusive, everybody helping everybody. Like it says, a village raises children, right? So we're letting them go off too much in the stray. Like they're getting too much into the social media. Like you said, they're saying these things and they want to ban certain things because of the influence. But it's us have to do our due diligence to teach each other as in social cohesion as human beings with each other. That's the love with everybody. You know, when you see somebody, you give them good advice. When you see this, you give them good. You don't refrain because they're a different ethnicity or they're from a different background. You refrain from giving them the knowledge which you obtain to help society grow. I don't understand it. It's contrary to what I think we're made to do, to build a society functional and full of love and help and everybody benefit. Everybody, not just certain people benefiting, right?
Right.
So that's what I feel. We, as our community, we need to show more of that, and we need to read more, and we need to have people speaking this more, not as a religious way, but as a humanity way. You understand? Everything, some people refrain from the religious background because that's what they put on us to control. It became a controlling thing now, religious form, but it's about the love and the community. That's what I feel is more important than anything, you know.
So what changes do you think can be implemented for communities to embrace that? Because I think nowadays there's a lot of fear and misunderstandings towards youth.